Hey everybody, it's Brandon Hampton with vCom Solutions, and we're here to talk about another exciting topic, mobile security. We've got 5 mobile security threats that you should be watching for, and it's just becoming more and more of an issue for organizations. It was interesting that 2019 saw the number of attacks double from the previous year. 74% of IT leaders recently said that they had been victim of a mobile attack. And really, since I've been talking about this topic over a decade ago, I remember when the number of attacks that happened in a year numbered in the hundreds. Now they're in the many millions, approaching billions of attacks, which is unbelievable. And there are different ways that these happen. A lot of times, it's from operating system attacks where they're really finding some kind of gap at the operating system level. A lot of time that's on Android devices more than Apple. Malware are apps that or software that can be installed on a device and can corrupt the data or steal data. Ransomware is becoming a mobile issue, but it's also a network issue where they can basically hold your organization ransom unless you pay them something. And network attacks due to faulty network designs are leaking into mobile as well, especially from an IoT perspective. A lot of challenges there. And mobile breaches are really different. It's interesting to think about the difference between a mobile device and a laptop or a computer. Mobile devices don't have to require a login. It really should, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but a lot of them don't. So you can just pick up a device and start using it. And also, mobile devices have apps running in the background all the time, which a lot of times can be utilized to phish or really phish is the wrong word, steal data from a device. And also users. You've got more users out there running around. They're more susceptible to being duped into clicking on something or providing data over the phone or something like that, and we'll talk about those. Our first mobile threat are malicious mobile apps that we're going to talk about. And really the key thing here is that users just need to avoid third-party app stores. This can be really through education, stick to the Apple Store or the Google Play stores, and usually you're good, although there are some malicious apps that can be downloaded there. Another way to prevent this is through policy, and really you can, your software, your mobile device software, mobile device management software, EMM, OEM software, whatever acronym they're calling it these days, can also set policy to prevent users from going to third-party app stores and require them to download apps from the 2 main stores. So that's education is important, and just really to be careful, but also software can really help control this. The second threat we'll talk about is called Trustjacking, and this is really exclusive to Apple, and it really started with a feature that's called iTunes Wi-Fi Sync, where users had to plug their iPhone into a USB port, and if they were plugging into an unsecure computer and they were duped into clicking approve or yes, I basically say that this is a trustworthy source, hence Trustjacking, then they had access to everything and could download or corrupt that device. So that's an issue that really can prevent it through education and appropriate software, malware software that can prevent that. The third threat we'll talk about is spyware, and spyware is a way that someone can gain access to your device and the data that flows through that device. It really happens from opening strange emails, downloading files from unknown sources, that type of thing. Even advertising pop-ups, if you click on it, can infect your device with spyware. And at that point, it's just be able to pull information from your device. And the best way to prevent this is through policy, through education again, so people just understand to be careful. And antivirus software can help prevent this malicious software from getting on devices. The fourth one we'll talk about is public Wi-Fi, and I think this is the one that is presents a huge potential threat down the road, because it involves using something that so many organizations are relying on these days, especially when people travel, global travelers especially. especially, and I've heard so many times from IT professionals, well, we just have them use the local Wi-Fi. The challenge with that is it's really easy to create Wi-Fi networks that look a lot like the popular Wi-Fi networks, like a Starbucks or your local hotel. Users get into the wrong Wi-Fi, and it could just be somebody sitting in the corner of the hotel, and they immediately have access to all the data that flows through that that device at that point. So it's really critical, and even on mobile devices, we're seeing this as a huge threat. The best way to do it is through requiring VPN access. If you're going to connect through Wi-Fi connection, use VPN access or require VPN access, and antivirus software can do this. But really, a good mobile device management software can provide that policy and require VPN connection before it would allow data to flow. A recent study showed that 1 in 5 attacks today are through public malicious Wi-Fi. So another area to really be careful of, and really make sure you're educating your users and really trying to potentially avoid public Wi-Fi when possible. The 5th challenge, we're almost to the end here. We'll talk about mobile phishing. And this involves just duping users, and whether it's through a phone call or whether it's through a text message. I've had examples in my life, my family, a couple of examples getting duped over the phone into providing information to someone that they shouldn't have. And it can be very convincing, and they've gotten really good at making sure that they create a scenario where you really need to provide something. And then text messages is another way that they can get you. And it's really, a lot of times it's just preying on fear and uncertainty. I heard stories about, with the recent pandemic, text messages going out saying, hey, there's been an infection in your immediate area, click here to get more information, things like that. And once they've clicked on that link, it's very possible that software has been loaded on that device to be able to monitor and steal any data off of that. So really important. Education is just really critical in this aspect. It's really hard to prevent somebody from telling somebody over the phone something, but that's important. Another thing you can do, if it's a URL that you think might be legit, type it into a browser on a computer and hit enter, and you'll find out real quick. And the threat to doing that when it's sent to a mobile phone is pretty slim. But another huge threat down the road, and really this is just educating people to be really careful about providing information or clicking on links or downloading things that they shouldn't be. So finally, just some steps you can take real quick to help, and although it may be a little longer than real quick to actually implement the steps, but my comments about them will be quick at least. Develop a mobile policy. And so many organizations do not have policies, and just from a legal perspective, it's really challenging to maneuver some of the legal landscapes today when it comes to mobile data without having a policy and without enforcing it religiously. Develop that policy, make sure it's broad. There are tons of examples out there that you can get and look and that are really good mobile policies that you could follow. So building a policy is important. It's really critical. However, if you're not providing your IT staff with the tools to enforce that policy, it's kind of useless, really. So being able to utilize software such as mobile device management software, we've talked a ton about. There's a lot that it can go a long way towards helping to enforce certain policies. MMS software to have better visibility into your overall environment from a cost and usage perspective can really help enforce certain policies there. And just really being able to give them the tools to do that is critical. Otherwise, the policy can sit there and it really doesn't mean much. Implementing MDM, EMM, OEM, whatever acronym you want to choose, software to help enforce policy, control malware, spyware. There are a lot of benefits. If you've got a bring your own device environment where you've got users utilizing their personal phones for corporate data, this type of software is just critical to really help control all the threats that are out there today. It's not going to eliminate them, but it certainly can help mitigate them to a large degree. And finally, I'll mention there are some technologies that allow you to establish internet gateways so you can monitor usage and traffic before it ever hits your network or mobile device. It can go a long way towards helping you enforce certain policies and really control the type of usage that you want used within your mobile environment. Thank you so much for your time today. I want to leave you just with, we know it's been a really challenging year. There are challenging times ahead. We are here. We are ready for you. We've got information. We've got tools and resources. When you're ready, we'll be here and ready to help you. My name is Brandon Hampton. This is where you can find me. Be happy to answer any questions via email, shoot me a call. Happy to set up some time to talk if that could be of help. And I wish you all the best and have a great day.